How's it going, my friends? Let's see, we're starting on Star Trek. 1979 Bally Star Trek in this video. I didn't take any pictures or take any video of it all put together because I never put this machine together till the end. This machine, as I'll tell you in the video, that I just was working on this one as I had time. When I was working on other stuff, if I was waiting for something to be done, I could work on it. So this is going to be kind of this whole series with Star Trek is going to be really no intro to it, and no, see ya at the end. It's just going to be kind of cut off where I feel I should cut it off, and to work on the next episode of doing something different, or completing. This one took so much of my time, as far as extra time, that at one point I did finish up, what the hell did I finish up? I don't know if I finished up Sinbad. I was working on Sinbad while I was working on Star Trek at times. And Sinbad, we finished up Sinbad, but I lost all my footage for the troubleshooting and gameplay in Sinbad. I still have Sinbad in here, but I have a bunch of stuff already on it. I even lost the gameplay of Star Trek. I'm hoping that I can kind of stretch this out, and I'll be able to get Star Trek set up over at the arcade and do some gameplay with it. I think I did get through all the troubleshooting in it. I'm not sure. I'll have to check all the footage. I have 126 clips for Star Trek. So I don't even know where I finally, what I lost and what I didn't lose. I had an SD card that took a dump on me and had all my footage of the end of Sinbad and the end of Star Trek, of course. But anyway, once I get Sinbad cleared off, right now I have all my stereo equipment sitting on it that's done, and I gotta move it, and then I'll shoot some gameplay on it, and I'll go over what I had to do as far as troubleshooting. But anyway, this is about Star Trek, so kind of bear with me through this whole series, because like I said, there's not going to be any intros. It's just gonna end, and then the next video it'll start. But I figured I'd give you this long intro into Star Trek episode, and so you know what the hell's going on, so you're not lost and you think I forgot to do the intro, or or whatever. So that's what I'm going to be doing with Star Trek. Star Trek was a long, very long process to get it squared away. We're at the end of March, and I think I started Star Trek sometime in December, and I just finished it up probably 2 weeks ago. About the middle of March, I think, is when I finally finished up Star Trek. So this one was a long process getting this one squared away. I don't even have, like I said, I never put it together because I knew there was no way in hell to put it together. It would just look, I didn't have the room to put it together. I could just work on pieces of it and get stuff ready for it. So when I did have the room, I could finally get it set up and start working on everything on it. I'm gonna have to check. I think I may have some pictures of the pieces of it before I got started on it. If I do, I'll post them right after this intro, and and then you can look at it, and then you'll get an idea as to what I was up against when I started working on this machine. So, without that, let's have some fun and let's work on our 1979 Bally Star Trek, our iconic pinball machine of the late 70s. This is the back box for Star Trek. Before we even get started on Star Trek, and we're gonna get into this. I want to get the boards out of it and get this thing taken apart so we can see what we're going to need to do before we even get it in line to get fixed. I want to see what we got to do first. So I'm gonna get you set up. Finally, it's warm enough again today to I'll be outside, so I figured this is a good time to do this. I don't know if you watched my video of getting these in. You'll know that this is really a scary project here. I got to get the door off too. So, Scary Mary. Let's see, let me get a couple of screws out and I'll get this door off so we can see what's got to be done. This is going to be a long-term project. This is not one we're just going to start and go through to the finish in no time at all. This is going to be one that I'm going to be working on off and on because the back box is in such bad shape that it's going to take a long time to get the back box in some sort of reasonable order. So needless to say, this one's going to be a long-term project. And I'm just going to work on it when I can. When I have a little bit of time, I'll work on it, and hopefully we'll get it in working order again. But actually, if you're watching this video, that means that I have gotten it going. So hang around till the end and you'll find out what happens to the Star Trek. Okay, we got her all stripped out. Save as many of these screws. None of them are going to be any good, but I'll put them over here anyway. But as you can see, this is the aluminum ground shield that covers the whole back box. Our plywood, kind of spongy. We may have to replace it as well. This is just stapled down, and it's under the latches there. Same over here, it's just, as you can see, it's just stapled. But I'm going to run a vacuum in here and get this all cleaned up, and then we'll take a look at it again and see what we're going to have to do. Now that I got it all vacuumed out, that does it. Yeah, we're going to have to put a new back in it. Get that. I push on that. I don't know. I'll look it over a little better and see if I decide we need to put a new back on it or not. Alright, the boards, I don't know if we're gonna, I doubt if any of these are gonna be savable. That's our sound card, the soundboard. There's our light driver board. There's the MPU. Look at that. God. And there's the power supply. Okay, what I am going to do is I'm going to wash them. I'm going to get them cleaned up and make an assessment then after they're clean and see what it actually looks like, because I see the chips on them are all rusted. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, it looks like on the front of this we got everything going on here. I got some white mold, some black mold, and some yellow mold. I mean, we really got it going on. Displays, you know, they look okay, but you know, we won't know until we can actually plug them in and see what they do. You know, while we have them out, of course, we will check all the pins and see if we need to reflow. And we'll check all of our brackets and see what our brackets are like. But the big thing is getting it cleaned up and painted. Just going to paint the front side. I'll spray the back side with bleach and kill all the mold and get it cleaned up. Scrub it down after it soaks for a while. The front side, we want it, you know, nice and reflective or bright anyway. So I will paint the front side of it so it's brighter. So let's get some of these, let's get a couple of these displays out and take a look at them and see if they're worth saving as well. Alright, this is the back of the door, and as you can see, we do have just a touch of mold that we have to take care of. Nice. And you want to lick that? There you go. There's a nice pile for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip the wiring off of it and take all the displays out of it. That's what I'm doing. I'm unsoldering all of our lights. I took pictures so I knew where everything goes back on. And then I'll pull all the displays out of it, and then I have to spray the hell out of it with bleach to kill the mold. The front side, once I get the wiring off, I'll show you the front side. We have yellow mold on the back side and white mold on the front side, and there's some black mold on the front side as well that, like I said, I'll spray the hell out of it with bleach, and then I'll clean it all up, and then I'll paint it white so we have a good reflective base behind our translight, because Star Trek has a translight in it, not a back glass. But I guess you could call there's a back glass with a translight on, stuck to it, so what the hell. Anyway, we don't have to worry about it peeling. Just gets a little wavy. But yeah, we'll get all the wiring off of it. The ones that are kind of different here, like I said, I took pictures, but I'm still gonna... Oh, that's nice looking there. Looks like a critter. The hell is that? I don't know. But I will mark these. I'll put some tape. Hey, that was a little warm. I'll put some tape on them and then mark where they go. This is the bottom. Yeah, bottom. So I will mark that. Mark these two. I'll tape them together. God, sticking your hand next to that. Mark those two bottom on this socket. And the green ones and the green white, of course, tape them together and top. That way I know where everything goes. These ones will too. I do have, like I said, I took pictures of this, but, sometimes it's kind of hard to see your own damn pictures. Excuse me. So, I'm just going to mark, once you lay the wiring back up, most of these will kind of show you where they go, because I'm not going to screw up the wiring. I just have to wash it. And we'll get that all taken care of. So let me get the wiring off of this. I'll flip it over and I'll show you the front side, what the front side looks like, and we'll get all the displays out of it. I think most of our brackets will be okay. Hopefully. But we'll see once we get everything out. This is the next morning. I tore it down. Sprayed it down with bleach real good and let it sit overnight and dry. So all of our mold should be dead. Now it's got to clean it. Clean it up so we can paint it. And let's see, here's the displays I took out. Got all 5 of them out without a problem. This is the only one here that's got some burnt marks on the segments right down there in the corner. So the second and third digit. The rest of them dirty, but they look like we're gonna. It looks like they're salvageable. We won't know until we get a game fired up, or this one fired up, and to check them all to see if they're any good. If not, then we'll go over them and see if we can fix them. If not, then we'll buy some new ones. Hopefully we don't have to buy any new ones, because that's just more money out of the budget for this machine. I try and keep to a budget on these machines, and some places you got to spend some money, and then you have to leave other places out. Like I said, the board set so far looks like I'm going to be able to save the soundboard and the lamp driver board. The power supply and driver board is doo-doo, and so is the MPU. MPU is just There's just way too much acid damage on this one to want to do anything with it. Where are we? Okay, let's get that turned around. You can see the alkaline has ate all the way up there, this whole corner, all the way up to our PIA, our RAM and 5101. You know, all this would have to be taken off and the whole board cleaned. It's creeped all the way up. You know, this board is just, it's too far gone. The only thing it's good for is maybe some parts. There's not going to be much as far as parts wise go that's any good on it. But I do have another MPU that we can build and get that going. So we'll have that, and here's our, this is our driver, solenoid driver and power supply here. And as you can see, it wouldn't clean up. I mean, we got cake. I mean, that stuff just wouldn't clean off. We got two of our, I'm not sure, I have to look up, but we got one of our resistors is rotted off of it. Both of these buttons are gone. They fell off when I was cleaning it. There's just way too much to do on this. We got resistors that are broke. It just rotted, rusted off. Just way too much to do on it to actually put this one back in. I didn't even clean the back because once I cleaned the top and seen what it was like, nah. But we got a good candidate to replace it with. So we'll be okay there. This is the solenoid, or the light driver board. This is actually pretty decent. Doesn't look too awful bad. A couple resistors up here will change. But this we can actually salvage. I have other ones too, so I may or may not. This was the only thing here that I was really worried about, was my sound. And this is the solid state sound module. So there's no speech with Star Trek. It's just going to be some beeps and bongs and stuff like that. But we can rebuild this, put some caps on, replace the caps, and hopefully I have to pull this chip right up here on the corner is what determines what game it's for. And you can see it's pretty nasty. I'll have to pull it. I have to pull all three of those top chips and see if they're salvageable. If not, we'll get the chips and replace the chip. I'm still working on the voltage regulator board and transformer. And you can see somebody has done a very big no-no. They put aluminum foil in every one of those fuses. So I do believe they were having some problems with this. But right now I can't get my three screws out so I can pull the board up off of there. I need to get the board off and take the transformer off of our mounting plate. That's got to be all cleaned up, and probably I'll paint it, and hopefully we can get this. If not, the boards are out there, we can change that out too. A lot of work to do on this one. I don't even know when this is going to be posted. when I actually get to post anything on this on Star Trek, it's going to be quite a while. This is one that I'm just been working on a little at a time. Have a little bit of time, you know, waiting on parts or something like that. I'll jump on this and work on Star Trek for a while and get some stuff done on it, and maybe we'll be able to get it up and running. If I don't get it up and running, you won't see any videos on it. So let me get our front door panel here all cleaned up and get it ready to be painted. Get all the mold cleaned off of it now that it's dead. We'll get it cleaned up and get it painted and be ready for the machine. The wiring harness, same thing. I got a like a maze in here. This is the wiring harness. I have to, as you can see, it's filthy. I'll throw that in the sink and soak it and get it cleaned up the best I can. And we'll check all of our pins. It's kind of hard to check anything right at the moment because everything's so dirty. But we'll be doing, looks like we'll be doing a lot of repinning. And this is the best time to do it when you have the wiring harness out. You don't have to work over a machine. You can just set it on the bench and repin away. So let's get this cleaned up and get it ready to be painted. Wiring harness is all clean. I stuck that right in the sink full of water and scrubbed it. Got it all cleaned up. Now we can actually work on it. Still got some water. It's got a long time before it'll dry out, but that's all right. And we'll get these old screws out of the wire retainers. Okay, let's see, what else did we do? I got the door here drying in front of the heater, my little heater. You can see I got that all cleaned up. That's our face there. We'll paint that white. And the back we don't have to worry about it. It looks fine. I just want a little more reflective, a little brighter behind our translight. I know I keep calling it a translight because that's what's in this machine. Is they took the glass, I've told you before, they took the glass and cleaned it and then bought a translight and put behind it. And there's our displays all cleaned up. Those, no, I did not submerge them in water. Those I just wiped them all down and got them all cleaned up. So those will all be ready to test once we get things going. And the brackets that hold the displays, they're rusty, but I think we'll still be able to use them. Nobody's going to see them but me, because I'll be the only one in it. Like I said, that's the only one that's got burn marks, and this was the ball display. 6 digits. I may order in one and change it out, but we'll see how it looks. We'll see if it really does look like crap. I think there's only 4 of these. Yeah, the first 2 here are used, and actually, naturally the ones that are burnt are used in the ball and match display. This will be our match here, and this will be credits and ball in play, which this one here you'll use a lot. That one we may not have to worry too much about it. Just have to see if it works. If it works and looks okay, then we'll leave it in. But now I got to let all this stuff dry out real good so I can paint that. And once I get that painted and the wiring harness dries out, we can put our door back together. So we'll get this all dried out and painted and then we'll start working on putting it back together. Yeah, I got that all painted. Just left the old light bulbs in, that way I didn't have to mask them off or put anything in it, because all the light bulbs are getting changed anyway. I just cleaned the back real good, and now we're ready to, we can put our wiring harness back on it. But I'll wait and do that. Right now I am working on the back box itself. I am tracing out our artwork so I can do all the work I need to do on this back box. You know, we got big chunks missing here and on that corner and all around the inside there. So far we might be able to save that back panel. I got to do some work to it. It's peeling on the back side, but you know, all of this is just the vent. And nobody sees it anyway. But what's nice is you trace out the art and it'll work on this side, and then you can just turn it over and put it on the other side, and it's a mirror image. So you don't have to do both sides. You can just do one side, and then you can use it for both. But we need to get this all squared away before we start doing anything else to it. Like I said, there's no sense of putting anything in it until after I get it all fixed up and painted. Then we can worry about it. I don't know what the hell that noise was. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep working on tracing out all of our artwork. And see, I got started, and then I figured I'm gonna show you what I'm doing and let you know what I'm doing, so it's not a surprise. And a little dark over here. I'm gonna move it over behind me a little bit and get under some light so I can see a little bit better. I got the back box all cleaned out. Still think I might take this one aluminum ground plate out and change it, because it's not it's kind of ate up down along the bottom. The only one that's not is the top one. It's just ugly looking. But you know, we got a lot of damage to work on this back box, especially this corner. You know, we really gotta, oh man, looks like something chewed on it. Almost. You know, it's the corners. Corners are the ones that catch hell. And this side, you know, isn't so bad. Just a little bit of damage up in here that we can repair. And I went ahead and I traced out our artwork. I don't know if I can get that down. I'll have to, let me put you down for a minute. There, now you can see a little better what that corner's like. We got a lot missing there, and this isn't too bad. That, you know, I can repair all of that. The one that's just going to take a little time is getting this repaired so it's good. And like I said, so now that we can do the whole thing without losing, you can see I got the artwork all traced out. And that's the yellow. That'll be our yellow. And our red, you can see where, I don't know if they didn't have the stencil lined up or not. So I adjusted it. So now, let me see. I think we can do that right up here. So now, when we put this up on there, our red's going to be in the red will be in the spaceship. I don't know if I can say what it is or not, so that's why I'm just calling it a spaceship. So now we can go ahead and sand this all down and not have to worry about our artwork. Let's see what else is here. And like I said, I traced this side, and then when you go to the other side, all you do is flip that around and do the other side. It's kind of a mirror image. So you only have to do it once, and now what I'll do is I'll put that on Bristol board and cut out and make a stencil for it, because I'm not doing that by hand. I'm going to do it by stencil, and we're going to spray paint it. We're not going to be hand painting this. I just have to come up with a decent primer. I can see that they used a white primer on this to seal the wood, because if you spray paint over raw wood, the fibers kind of stick up on it. You can't get it to really flow and cover really nice. So you have to seal this wood in order for a good coat of paint to look good on this. So I'll be looking, I want to get another white, because the white does bring out the colors better. Usually a lighter color lets your colors come up better. The dark colors, like if you use a red oxide primer, it will give you a deeper color. I guess, kind of, deeper color. What the hell else can I say? A lot of these videos on Star Trek are going to be there's not going to be any intro to them. Because I'm just recording as I have time to work on Star Trek, because there's so much work to do. Like the Backbox, the base color is blue, and on the cabinet the base color is yellow. So so it's just going to be back and forth. I'm going to be kind of working on the Backbox. We're going to get the Backbox all done first, because since I don't have to worry about another base color of blue, I don't have to paint the cabinet and the Backbox at the same time, since they're two different colors. So I'll get the Backbox all done. We'll get the ground plane in it. And what else? Oh, and start working on boards. You might get I'm going to try and do a whole video of just putting the boards together for this. We'll talk about that in a later video. Right now it's all body work on the Backbox. That's why I said some of these videos are going to be long, and I'm going to have to kind of cut them in half, and I don't know where to stop a video and start with an intro, because there's just so much time in between me getting to work on this. Right now I'm still doing the Bally, which is done, and you have already seen that series. And same with the Lightning. You've already seen that series. That one's done. So as I'm working on the playfield on Knight Rider, I'm also kind of when I'm waiting for paint to dry or clear coat to dry or whatever, I'm working on this back box. The ground plane, I call it a ground plane. I bought a roll of aluminum flashing. And that's what we're going to use, because that's what was in there, was aluminum. So we're going to use some aluminum flashing to make a ground plane. This is one of the ones I peeled out of there. I think what I'm putting in is a little heavier, but that was the lightest they had, and a little heavier is a little easier to work with, and it's not going to hinder us in any way as far as making a ground plane in there for it. So now it's time to do some more work on this back box, and you'll be getting updates on it. Like I said, it's going to be whatever,